Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Apple Juicer, and today I'm going to talk about an anime called Cerberus that is currently airing right now. And I just wanted to talk about how the first episode has probably the worst animation I've seen for a first episode in a very long time. Some of the shots are just utterly awful, and it's inexcusable to have such a low quality. Like, even if some of them are a few second freeze frames, that's a few second freeze frames. Like, if you're going to put in something into like a 20-minute episode that's 3 to 5 seconds long and it's just a freeze frame, it should be a fucking good frame. Because, you know, if you have the 1 second that actually has like a decent amount of frames in it, you know, to give it a good FPS so it doesn't look like utter shit in animation, you can at least give a freeze frame some kind of effort. But oh my god, some of the backgrounds and the inconsistencies are just insane in this show. So first off, we're just going to start out with some just little things that I noticed in the beginning of the episode. Like we can obviously see that some of these are they're just inexcusable, because we see things like this where like the chick in the background, like the elf chick, like look at her face. It's not symmetrical. Her eyes are totally fucked. Like, what the hell? The left eyeball, like the iris on it, is way bigger than the one on the right. Not to mention the ears aren't even equal length, and the ear on the right doesn't even have the added little line. Like, they couldn't literally add in a line, and the ears aren't even correct in length or width or anything. It just looks fucked. And then if you look at the chick on the left to her, holy hell, what is that? It's a blob with, I think that's an ear. I don't even know what that hat is. It's awful. Just everything about her facial features are awful. And if you look at the woman on the far right who's like selling shit, she's pretty bad too, honestly. Like, her eyes are on different levels. Her nose is, I don't even want to talk about that tomato looking thing. Again, the irises are different shapes and sizes. That's just awful, and that's like one of the forefront. You know, that's more in the foreground than it is on the background. And if we go to the very far left, we still see the other elf guy. I don't even know, because her ears, the like one on the right, her ears are more like horizontal, and his are like angled down. So I don't know what's up with that. But again, one of his ears is very pointy, and the other one is rounded. The one on the right is kind of rounded. You can see that. His eyebrows, his nose, his mouth, his eyes, very, very low quality. I don't even know what the hell is going on with this frame in particular. It's just really, really bad. So in the same clip, I let it play on just so you could see some of the other background characters. And like the chick in the hoodie, she doesn't look that bad in comparison to the other people. So it's definitely not like an artistic style or any kind of thing that you could try to reason it with, because she's definitely higher quality. The guy on her left that you briefly see is also of higher quality, and then the little kid on the left is also high quality. And you see those people actually for a shorter time than you do the others, which is kind of weird because the others have fucking terrible effort put in, but the ones that we see for like half a second have like, I can accept those characters. Okay, the second time around. The first time around, that is inexcusable, unacceptable, just awful. Either your show has zero funding or like something's going wrong, okay? Something is very wrong, but like, so I don't understand why there's a big difference between the quality. It's just such a big shot down for something that actually has less screen time. So that's a little strange, but moving on. Alright, in this scene, I would like to point out that on the soldier's mask, the purple, black, gray guys, you can see that the squiggly line in the middle of their mask, you know, that's for like their eyes or whatever, all of them have the same design and it's uniform, okay? So it all coincides with each other. So I'd like you to remember that for the future, okay? Just hold on to that. So in this scene, just looking at the foreground character, the little girl, magic girl, her face, nope, not okay. The people in the top right, none of them have any distinguishable features. A lot of their faces are just totally assigned random shapes along with their hair and their clothes. Their hands aren't right. Everything about this shot is terrible. Like, there's not a single... You know what looks the best out of all of these shots, out of anything in the show that I noticed, was the ground. I actually like the ground more than I like anything else in the show when it comes to the artistic flavor and the artistic design. Because the ground is higher quality than everything else in the show. Every little tidbit in the show. It's just awful that, like, out of everything, I noticed, wow, that ground looks pretty okay. It looks pretty good. I like it. And then the rest of it just makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Like, what the hell is wrong with this scene? Well, again, you could say, oh, it's only a freeze frame for a few seconds. Yes, it's only a freeze frame for a few seconds, at least for the background. Actually, no, it's a complete freeze frame, because it's literally just a big picture that they're panning down. Okay? So that's not okay. If it's going to be a freeze frame, as opposed to something that you would need like 15 frames in to make it okay, it's more way higher than that typically. But if you're going to have that, then why can't you make the freeze frame high quality? It just doesn't make sense. You can make it high quality. There's no excuse for not making it high quality. And so we just don't see, we see more inconsistencies. Obviously, I'm cutting out a lot of the show. The second time around, you saw those people in the stalls. That's about the highest quality it gets in the show. And I'm not joking, because you'll see a little more of it in comparison later on in the video, but even at the highest quality that it gets to, it's still awful. Well, it's not awful. No, it's awful. All right, so in this scene, I would like you to take note to the dude in the green cap, the guy on his left. Don't think you see the yellow. That's not yellow. What am I saying? The blonde-haired guy. But just take a look and note them. Okay, look at their design. Okay, they're okay. They're pretty well made. Like I said, well, not pretty well made, but they're what we expect. You know, they're about on quality with the people in the stalls we saw the second time around. Now, I just let this clip play out a little bit so that you can see that the next shot of when the kid's going down the alley just mutilates them. It just obliterates them. The guy's chest has like literally just what the hell. It's so, if you're not going to like distinguish the fact that he has no shirt on by, you know, giving him some kind of, even if he's not in shape, I don't care. There's going to be more definition there. Okay. So if you're not going to give him definition, just give him the treatment that you gave the kid on the left and just give him a solid colored shirt. So that way you can be lazy. Okay. Because giving him a solid colored chest with a defining feature of like a retarded indented chest that has like a really strange shadowing on it. That shadowing makes no sense. Again, the shadowing in the show is awful, because if you look at, there's a light source coming from the left side, and if you look at his left arm, our right, the shadowing just doesn't make sense, especially on his chest. It just doesn't work. Okay, and so you can see the obvious quality and drop. The guy's eyes don't exist. Like, they're little dots, and we saw in the previous scene that he actually had some real eyes, some anime eyes. You know, they had some color, they had some definition. Okay, they're not just the beady black dots that they do sometimes. So it's obviously not like, it's not, oh, that's just his character. No, it's because they just can't fucking make a goddamn freeze frame. They just can't make a background that doesn't look like shit. Which really surprising, actually. Because if you look at the scene with the guy who has the bauble, or whatever the hell you want to call it, the insignia, his background, the aesthetics is actually pretty cool. Like the shield and the rug, even though the circles are kind of... Actually, I kind of like it. And so that's like decent quality. Even the armor has better... Look at that armor. Look at the shading on the armor, even though it, again, doesn't make much sense. But either way, you can tell it has some decent quality. And then you look at the next... Literally, the next frame is complete shit. Even the guy who's selling stuff is complete shit. So the inconsistency is so high, especially for character models. Their backgrounds are okay. Actually, like I said, the floor is my favorite part. I like the like brickwork. That's pretty nice. But once you get to the characters, for some reason, the show just takes a gigantic nosedive. Just awful nosedive. Okay, so here I'd like to go back to the fact of when we looked at the purple dudes in their armor earlier in the episode, we could see that the middle part of their shit was uniform, and now we can see that it literally has no consistency. Along with other parts of their armor, also doesn't have consistency, like the spikes on their shoulders. If you look on the guy on the right, his spikes are very close. You look at the guy on the left, his spikes are very far, unless those are the other spikes on the other guy's armor, which actually either way doesn't make sense because they're missing spikes. But moving off from the spikes, if we look at the little like eye sight thing, the zigzag in the middle of their face, every single one of them in this shot is different. They're all different. All of them are different. So what the fuck? Are they uniform? Are they not? Even when you look at their helmets, if you look at the little back part that has the two gray parts, none of those are uniform either. They're all different. So what the hell? Is their armor uniform or is it not uniform? I don't know. Please help. Okay, so in this scene, we can see, obviously, the background's terrible. Not even going to go over that. We've already touched on stuff like that. But so we can see how low quality that guy's face is from this point of view. And then when we go to look at this guy is actually pretty consistent throughout. Even though he looks retarded, by the way. Okay, you can see that the guy, on the first shot of his face, you can see he has decent design. The guy on the right is a little fucked up. You know, he's pretty fucked up. The chick is okay. She looks okay. The eyebrows, the eyebrow, what am I trying to say here? The eyebrows, not the eyebrows, okay? What the hell? The eyelashes, there we go, if you can call them that. The black line around her eye isn't right. Her ears, we could talk about that for a long time. Oh, if you notice, the guy actually has, like, pretty designed ears at this point, and she doesn't. Her ears are really, like, you know, basic. And so we see the little bitch, she dropped the pot, whatever, she broke it, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? You can see, again, you can see that there's a decent amount of time, I guess, put into this guy. His teeth are awful. It's honestly, this show is such low quality. I think I'm not even joking. I feel like some of these they outsourced for a lot of their shit, and they outsourced to like high schoolers and shit like that for very, very cheap amount of money, because it's just awful. It's just really bad quality. Okay, and so then we go into this move where they're like, ooh, we got the swords or whatever. Okay, now we can see that the dude on the right, his face is just gone. Whatever kind of design for his face they had going, they just got rid of it. They were like, fuck that, let's just give him a new face. We got a face makeover. This guy got some plastic surgery hardcore. Now he looks like a retarded doll. And then, you know, the two girls, whatever, they're, you know, same old we've seen before. The guy, the green dude, the guy who had a decent amount of design in his face, his eyes are just fucked. They're really bad. Left one is longer and more horizontal. The one on the right is more angled and not as long, not as wide. There we go. It's not wide. Okay, it's not as wide. Okay, and his hair is awful too. Like, we could just chalk that up to, well, that's just how his hair is. Okay, sure. Well, I'll give you that one. Okay, what's up? Also, I'd just like to know, like, look at that lamp. Not the lamp. What is that? Lantern. There we go. The lantern is it's like solid colors. It's like a gradient. It literally has no shadowing. So it's really poorly done. That's like really poorly done because it has no shadowing. Again, the background is pretty well made. The curtains are pretty nice. I like the curtains. Best part of this scene. Definitely best part of this scene. So I don't understand. They're in the chair, like, it's pretty good. I like the chair. Okay, so why? I just don't see why their backgrounds on the non-living things are decent quality, but then when you get to the living things, they're awful. Okay, and in this next scene, I'd just like to point out that those guys' faces are back to being uniform. What the shit? Are they uniform? Are they not? I don't get it. Please help. Okay, so a little exposition went on. They introduced these red guys. Where the fuck did they come from? They weren't in the room before. They're magically in the room with this thing, and there's like, da-na-na, you know, like that kind of epic music or whatever plays where, like, you found the treasure. So I don't know where the red guys came from. Their masks aren't uniform, again, but this is the first time we're seeing them, so maybe that's just the way it is. Don't know where they came from. They literally came out of nowhere. Hey, that guy's back to having a face. The green guy, he has a face now. The dude behind him he's kind of getting his face back. They're starting to remove some of the plastic surgery, so he's looking more human. Then we go back to the bauble or whatever, I don't know, the little gem thing. Oh, the guy's face is gone. The guy on the right, his face is gone. They put the plastic surgery back on. whatever his face was, it's now gone, and it's replaced with that. Again, the teeth are terrible, especially. I really dislike the teeth. The guy on the right, like, he has literally almost no shadowing besides his hair and his eyes, so I can't tell as his face is literally flat. His nose is a little whatever. At least the guy on the left, the Gringo, I'm gonna call him Gringo from now on. Gringo at least has some shadowing on his face. He still looks awful, though, because it's just, his face isn't symmetrical. Yeah, but okay, we could just say his face is not symmetrical. But yeah, so I just don't understand, like, the guy on the right, he kind of had a face, they just fucked it, they tried to give it back, and then they fucked it again. It was like they were giving us false hope of him getting a face back. So, that's unfortunate. Hey, look, something that's not a freeze frame. So in this animation, I just wanted to point out about the guards' masks things, their eye socket, I don't know what the hell to call it. But look, the one on the left's one that has like a aneurysm, and it just flips the shit out and drops super low on his mask. So it's definitely not what it was before, so it's not like they were different on purpose. They probably were supposed to be uniform, but they outsourced it and they were like, fuck it, we don't need to edit it. The guy on the right, again, his face is on just a completely new shape. Like from the two previous versions that I switched back forth between, it's now just a new man. Like he went in for that third plastic surgery and he was like, you know what? I want to be a new man. Make me a new man. And they're like, all right, man, we'll make you the man. And so they did that, whatever that is to him. It's pretty bad. And then we can see more of the red guys with their eyes. The guy on the left especially, his thing rotates a lot. I don't know where these red guys came from, but that happened. So, okay. So this scene may only be 4 seconds long, but this scene makes me more mad than any other scene in the show, because the red guys, who are red now, they fired all the purple guys. They were like, you guys kind of suck dick. The red guys are better at their job, so we're going to hire only red guys. I don't know what happened to purple guys, but they're not here anymore. And so the red guys, their masks, what the hell? Some of them are just totally screwed. Like if you go to the right, the third guy to the left, on the far right in the back, all right? What? Hello? Are you okay? Are any of them okay? None of them are okay. None of the masks are okay. I hate this. I fucking hate this. This literally, like, when I first saw this, it just literally hurt my brain. Everything about the scene is fucking awful, except, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the bricks and the background of the buildings. The buildings are actually okay. They're not that good. Okay, the buildings aren't that good, honestly. But compared to those soldiers, holy shit, that's like a Mona Lisa up there. You know, and the bricks, I like those bricks. Those are some nice bricks. So again, I'll give it like a 2 out of 10. 1 point for the bricks. No, 1.5 points for the bricks. Half a point. No. Okay, here we go. 4 points for the bricks. Half a point for the like houses, and then like negative 59 points for the soldiers. So that's unfortunate. So I think you're coming out to a negative pointage right there. For the last scene I'm going to show, I recommend you do what the main character does for his sheath, and you throw it into the abyss. It just disappears. Fuck this show. It honestly, it was really generic. There were a lot of plot holes. It didn't make like almost any sense. It seems pretty mediocre in every aspect. I would not recommend this to like anyone. I don't even care. Like, okay, let's say my ex-wife's mom, fuck that bitch. I wouldn't even recommend it to her, okay? That's how bad it is. Like, I wouldn't even recommend it to someone I hate, because it is so awful that honestly I feel like I could be like, it could be justified in court that I assisted their suicide if they killed themselves from watching this show. So I'd rather not have any kind of legal complications with this, so I'm just not going to recommend this show to anyone. Into like a 20-minute episode that's 3 to 5 seconds long, and it's just a freeze frame. It should be a fucking good frame, because, you know, if you have the 1 second that actually has like a decent amount of frames in it, you know, to give it a good FPS so it doesn't look like utter shit in animation, you can at least give a freeze frame some kind of effort. But oh my god, some of the backgrounds and the inconsistencies are just insane in this show. So first off, we're just going to start out with some just little things Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Apple Juicer, and today I'm going to talk about an anime called Cerberus that is currently airing right now. And I just wanted to talk about how the first episode has probably the worst animation I've seen for a first episode in a very long time. Some of the shots are just utterly awful, and it's inexcusable to have such a low quality. Like, even if some of them are a few second freeze frames, that's a few second freeze frames. Like, if you're going to put in something awful, and that's like one of the more the forefront, you know, that's more in the foreground than it is on the background. And if we go to the very far left, we still see the other elf guy. I don't even know, because her ears, the like one on the right, her ears are more like horizontal, and his are like angled down. So I don't know what's up with that. But again, one of his ears is very pointy, and the other one is rounded. The one on the right is kind of rounded. You can see that. His eyebrows, his nose, his mouth, his eyes, very, very low quality. I don't even know what the hell is going on with this frame in particular. It's just that I noticed in the beginning of the episode. Like, we can obviously see that some of these are they're just inexcusable, because we see things like this where, like, the chick in the background, like the elf chick, like, look at her face. It's not symmetrical. Her eyes are totally fucked. Like, what the hell? The left eyeball, like the iris on it, is way bigger than the one on the right. Not to mention, ears aren't even equal length, and the ear on the right doesn't even have the added little line. Like, they couldn't literally add in a line, and the ears aren't even correct in length or width or anything. It just looks fucked. And then if you look at the chick on the left to her, holy hell, what is that? It's a blob with, I think that's an ear. I don't even know what that hat is. It's awful. Just everything about her facial features are awful. And if you look at the woman on the far right who's like selling shit, she's pretty bad too, honestly. Like, her eyes are on different levels. Her nose is, I don't even want to talk about that tomato looking thing. Again, the irises are different shapes and sizes. That's just